Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain. Alright, so for these quests here, there's going to be two of them, so there will be two separate videos here. But they're both located here in the Anvil Fire Inn. So the one we're going to start with here is actually a quest called Stormcleave Outpost. And for that one, you just want to talk to Aloevain de Denith. Now when you talk to her, she will open up the window for travel, or rather to step into the quest, and she herself is the quest entrance. Alright, so this quest here is actually one of my older favorite ones to run. This quest has been around for quite some time, and there has been,
as far as the eye can see, gray silt and burned plants have replaced the green fecundity of Zendrick.
Yeah, since its release, there has been various ways that people have gone to complete, which I'll show you here. Most of it involves the one end room there. Alright, so there are two paths to take, and I'm actually going to take them both. So you can cross the bridge or head off north down the path here. So we're going to actually start with crossing the bridge. Now, right at the cross at the end,
column bridges the gap over a burned-out valley. A path of stonework slabs offers a makeshift ramp to the valley below.
Right across it, there are some scorpions. So you start off by seeing two scorpions. I definitely recommend ranging these ones and drawing them onto the bridge if you can, like, fight without too much movement. As soon as you cross the bridge and get to about here, it's gonna actually spawn in two more. Now on top of the scorpions, they also have some minotaurs. Yeah.
Minotaurs have gathered here for some nefarious
Not
purpose.
too tough, to be honest. As you see, only about 200 hit points, even on Reaper. The quest here, the enemies, like the trolls, 200, the champion 300. Like, it's not the hardest quest to do. So the first path I take is directly off that bridge, and just kind of, while on this upper level, just kind of follow the road here on the map to the south. Now, the reason I actually come back here is, though there is no chest or breakables, there are a few kills. Now, if you're looking to get conquest in this quest, you do need the few extra kills that you obtain from that camp and that little kind of path back there. There are a bunch of other kills that you can get, but these are the easiest ones to get. If you come across this bridge, again, just down there, there are a whole bunch of scorpions, which obviously you can fight for additional kills, but are not needed. So I'm just going to skip them, but there is a whole nest of scorpions. If I had to guess, I would say about 6 or 7 total that can be down there. There might even be more. Honestly, I'm not too sure. So the other path to take is this one here. And again, just follow it across.
A swarming nest of kobolds has claimed a small corner of the way.
And right around the corner here, we have a whole, well, as they said, a whole nest of kobolds. Now these guys, as you can see, they only have about 70 hit points, so they're super easy to kill. And, you know, like I said, super easy to kill, nice little bit. From here, we actually want to hop down to where the wolves are. Alright. And then just keep heading north, and we'll be able to head up the ramp here. Now at the top of the ramp, there are going to be another couple of groups of wolves here that are kind of in the little hollow here. Now, once we get up here, there are, as you see, several paths to take. Now, we can head this way here. Not that way, that's where we came up. So if we go around and head this way, this would be that other path that if we would have continued past where we had fought the Minotaurs and kept heading around, we would actually come to this point. Now, I tend to kind of hover around the corner here because there are a couple right on the other side of that little hill.
Ogres have gathered in a small camp ahead.
And there they are. So again, a few more kills. But yeah, this is the one that loops around. So if you're looking at the map down here, so when we cross that pillar, the Minotaurs were right here. Now if we would have continued following this path to the north, it would loop up to where we're at now. The other path that, and to be honest, this one's skipped almost every time I've done this. But that is this path right here. Now this is the one that we come, if you come up from the dogs here, it's immediately to the left. Now the reason it is skipped is there's not really anything up here. There's a couple of enemies up and around the corner here. Ooh, a couple of giants there.
Three giants roast their latest
Three specifically, so not a couple, a few. But yeah, that's it. There's no breakables, just a few kills. Now if you look down here, we do see some shrines. So there is that, as well as there's some enemies down here as well, which I'm just gonna ignore, as they are completely skippable. But if you do happen to need or happen to fall, of course you can go through and kill them. If you do happen to fall, just on the other side of that bridge to the north, there is a ramp heading up as well. You can head this ramp up here, which will take us to right where we started as well. Alright, so the way that we have to go, so from this point where the wolves were, we gotta head towards the people. Now, there are two paths again to take. We do need to head this way. So there is our gate warden right here. There's also an optional that we can do over here as well. So I'm actually going to do that optional before we complete the quest. But we do got to head back there. So first, we'll talk to him. Now, when you talk to him, he does state to kill 25 of those Xantalar minions. Now, if you talk to him and then go back and kill these people, they will count towards the 25. Pretty much anything you kill will count towards the 25, but only after you've talked to him. Alright, so the objective of this one is we gotta light some pillars first. So it's kind of hard to see the pillars at first, but once you find them, it's fairly easy. So I want to point from right here. So we enter in here. If you walk past, actually, you know what? Make the first right here, and just kind of hug this right wall. It'll take you around and to our first pillar. So just hug that right wall. That would be the easiest way to navigate through that kind of horde of enemies there, rather than trying to make your way through it. Alright, so here are the pillars. Now in order to light them, as I'm sure you've guessed, super simple. We turn it. Now, as you see, it only lit that first section. Now, as you kill the elementals, it goes to the next, or the mephits, it goes to the next one. So you want to make sure that the very top one is lit, and it will stay up at the top, as well as count you towards left, but you want to make sure it's lit. If you don't like that top row, doesn't count it as a lit pillar. And I know myself, I've thought I've killed because they are mephits. They'll spawn themselves over and over and over, and that's what happened. And I thought I killed the guy that I needed to kill, but clearly didn't. It involves a lot of running around trying to refine the pillars. It's just not worth it. Alright, so heading out here, you can head up here. It's kind of just a dead end. Goes around them, but the other one is you want to head north. We have a cave. Now this cave is optional, but it can have some optional enemies in it, as well as it does have some additional enemies, which we do need in order to get conquest. And we do have the optional, so yay. So if you do have an optional, they will be at the very end, kind of in that little alcove. As well as they drop a random loot chest, which I am just going to skip for the sake of saving a little bit of time. Which is normally what I'll do, I'll just shoot them right from the top, kill everybody, and then I head out. Like, I'm not usually looking for that little bit of money there. Alright, so from here, just want to continue this way, and then we got our second pillar, actually directly to our right here. So there it is. I'm just gonna finish killing off these guys.
You have significantly weakened the giant's minion army.
Alright, top one's lit. We're good to go. Alright, so here again, there is a shrine. We can run past. Then we want to make the right, heading up the ramp. If you go too far, you just can't proceed anywhere, so. Alright, so heading up, we actually start running into some giants.
A fire giant has fortified this area with his personal troops. He observes your approach with a marked lack of concern. One of the giant's lieutenants has fallen. You have slaughtered 6 large.
Alright, so on top here there are a couple of things. As you see, there are 2 chests, as well as a bunch of cannon parts. So the cannon parts are super easy to break, and you know, not a lot of experience, but I mean, it takes no time at all. And they're right, you have to walk past them. Oh, getting some lag. Must be a lot of people on tonight. Alright, so with these 2 chests, I want to point out, another thing that we have to obtain is, as you see right here, collect the Jormota shard. Now, these shards are located in these smaller looking chests. And what I definitely recommend is to have only one member of your party to pick it up, whether it be yourself or any member. Just designate one person as the person to pick up the shards, as if anybody else attempts to loot, they're gonna just see an empty chest here. So, and if somebody who doesn't know what they're doing picks up the shard, it can cause a little issues, and I'll get to why that is a little bit later there. Alright, so from here, yeah, just head past the boxes and then head on down. There is a ramp here, or you can just hop down. A couple of enemies, and again, pillar number 3. Alright, top is lit. Heading on. So, besides the shards, they also have another optional here, which are some supplies. Now these supplies look like this. The tall crate there. I'm just gonna break these ones here. Now these crates actually have a little bit of weight to them, and they do go into your inventory here. So I'm just gonna quick summon that. Alright, so as you pick them up, here it is, and as you can see, like, it is 75 pounds, so they do have a lot of weight. So definitely split them up among the party, or one person if they have enough. And then here we have just a locked chest. Nothing special about it, it's just a locked chest. Go ahead and pick it. You know, do whatever you're wanting to do, or just skip it. Again, there's no optional for it, it's just random loot. Alright, so running a little bit west here from that point, we run into another shrine. Now this shrine, I do want to mention something about this one in particular. Now, our main end fight is actually going to happen not too far from this location, just down there between the crack. So a lot of players tend to save this one until right before you go down there for that fight. So if you're one of those that want to try and save this one, you will be back here again. Alright, pillar number 4. There we go. Now I am going to hop down here and clear, because they do have some trash that spawns in right away. As you can see, a fair amount of enemies here. Maybe another black wolf there. There we go. And once you kill all of them, it kind of opens up. Actually, I think that was something else there. Yeah, I think that was just, never mind. Yeah, the Centaur army. So, once you kill them all, if you're lucky, it'll give you that bonus there. I was wondering, because normally you don't get for clearing, but... Alright, so from here, we do just need to head south. And on the right, we do have another set with insta-career, which, as you can see, is a required optional to kill, or required named enemy to kill. And just to our left here, we're also going to have another one here. He likes to hide until the fighting's done. So again, we got a bunch more crates. We have a few more of those supply chests to pick up, or supply crates. As well, we have a second chest that contains a shard here. So there's our.
You take up the shard of stone.
And then another chest here. Now this chest can actually have some named items in it. There is a couple of them that can spawn in here. Honestly, they're super outdated, so they're really not worth the time. I wouldn't ever bother re-rolling that ever. But I mean, hey, if you're looking to get one, by all means. Alright, so just continuing on here. To our left, we have our 5th pillar. And that one's lit there. So we just want to exit and then continue heading south. Now, just on the other side of that ramp, not heading up it, just literally on the other side of it, there will be 2 sleeping giants. Or, well, 1 sleeping giant, but 2 giants. So just be ready for a little bit of a fight. And again, some more breakables, a couple of supply crates, and then a second locked chest. So again, nothing special out of this one, it's just another locked chest. From here, there are 2 directions. We do need to go down both of them. So there's the direction to the south and then to the east. Generally speaking, I head east first. And just clear all the way up into the cave. Now the cave there is optional. However, it does have, as you see, a couple of supply crates there as well. But we do need to head up these stairs here. Before I do that, I am going to hit the cave though. Kind of do a little bit of exploring. Now again, we can have a named enemy that can spawn in here. Again, same place there. It looks like we got him as well. So again, what I normally do is I just stand up top here. Pull the enemies to me. And like I said, he will also have a chest down there. But, which is, we'll see, show. Chest just over there. But again, random loot, nothing special. As well in this cave, as I'm sure you've noticed, we have the shrines just up that hill. So again, nice little spot to get a rest if you need it. Okay. Outside of the cave, what we're going to do is we're going to head up the ramp here. Now, first thing here, I do see a Carnage Reaper, so I'm going to quickly take care of that. And the reason for that is they actually have a whole lot of enemies spawning here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually jump up, just to give you guys a good look. So what a lot of people do is they make the mistake of just charging straight at the giant. Now, though that is technically a strategy, it causes a lot more fighting at once than required. Now, one trick that I was taught way back when I first started running this quest is to actually walk backwards facing the stairs. If you just do it slowly, you'll see where the enemies spawn in. So we got a first wave there, and if you noticed, he hasn't moved. So you can take out a couple of them, and again, we can move back a little ways, and it's going to spawn in a second wave. Now again, even though we're pretty close, he still isn't moving. There's actually a third wave of guys. Now once you spawn in that third wave, he will start moving in. So generally what I'll do is I'll back up, kill off these first two waves, and then at that point, that's when I'll rush them. Like, I'm already here. Here we go. And again, he will spawn in some enemies. So we can kill the arcades. Alright. So once he's dead, the main reason we needed to come up here was actually to get our chest off to the right here. Now this will be our third shard.
You take up the shard of stone.
And then it also gives us a nice little loot chest here, which again, random loot. They also have a rune here. Now this rune will simply just turn off the portal here. At the top you will see a couple of gems. Now what happens here is it spawns in these methods. Now as we kill them, those lights go out. And that's that. Once all the lights are out, you get a little bit of experience, portal disappears, you're good to go. Alright, so from here we want to make a left and head back to where that giant was sleeping, those two giants were. And now we're just going to make a left, heading back south. Now, heading south, this is where we're actually going to fight the Minotaur Lord. We're going to light the last pillar. We're going to get another shard, so our fourth shard, as well as pick up our last three. So, this is where that all happens, is just south. As long as you've been, you know, completing everything up to this point. So our first of the supply crates is right here at this little fire. Now we do have, again, two ways we go. First we want to head left. That's actually going to bring us to our pillar, our minotaur, and our shard that we need.
Camp, you spot one of the general's has fallen. Minotaur Lord Aloevain has no more.
So there they are. Here's our last shard.
You take up the shard of
Does have a random loot chest again. Kill off the enemies. Room pillar is lit.
Summoning circle behind the outpost.
Alright, so the next part here. So instead of going the same way we entered, we'll head a little bit west and make our first right. Or rather, the second right, as we pass that one there. There's just a couple of enemies here. Now if you head up the ramp, we will see our last two supply crates.
The last of the stolen supplies has been
Now, we do get an optional for picking them up. As well, we also get an optional for returning them. That's why we weren't just picking them up and immediately deleting them, despite them weighing 75 pounds. If someone does pick them up and drop them, somebody else will either have to pick them up or they may respawn at the location. But ultimately, it's just best, if you're going to pick them up, make sure you run back to the start as well. So now what we need to do is we need to backtrack a little ways to where these shrines are here. And head down into that little amphitheater, which is right here. So there's the shrines in that corner. This would be that point where those people would go and use those shrines. And then they would head on down here. And now that we've lit all the posts, so if you look around the edge here, these ones are no longer lit up. And when they're not lit up, that means all the other pillars are properly lit up. And we can activate the giant's head to summon a portal. Just walk into it and it'll teleport you inside of the general's lair. Now, the reason this used to be one of my favorite quests is the way this fight takes place. It is such a unique fight. So first here I'm going to go through and I'm going to clear some trash. So as you approach the hall here, there's actually going to be a total of 4 giants. 2 fire giants, which that guy actually kind of hurt a bit. And then there's going to be, well, 2 other giants. So there's 2 fire giants, and then there's 2, I believe, hill giants? Yes, 2 hill giants. And then at the top, just a little bit past them, there's going to be a fire giant, General Xantalar. Now, he is actually, like, almost immune to everything. And you gotta stop and think, how can you kill a guy who's immune to, like, everything? Well, the trick comes with those shards that you picked up. Each of those shards will unlock one of these rooms on the side. So there's one there. Whoops, those aren't gonna reach him anyway. There's one over that direction there. So one there, one over there, one there, one over between those pillars there. Again, each shard unlocks a specific door. So the only one that we're really sure, that I'm really sure of, is the Wolftaw shard, the second one here. And that is actually that back right corner one. Now the reason why that one's important is in there it has a stone, like an earth elemental. Once that guy dies, General Xantalar loses his immunity to, like, physical damage. And same goes with all of these other side rooms. As you do, like, you approach, the shard will remove the barrier. Once you kill everything inside of it, he loses the buff that these things give him. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it here. Yeah, so here, so the stone skin, that'll be from the earth elemental. The fire shield, he also has regeneration and then a spell resistance. So each of those rooms will remove one of those abilities.
The giant in the center of this
So we're
room
gonna hop over
may
here,
only be the fearsome general.
kill the air.
Ribbons of energy bristle along the walls, conveying some secret power.
As the air die, which buff did he lose? He lost his fire shield. Now we got these cold guys over here. And as another way to know when the power's actually out, the lights on the side will also go out. Oh. So now that the cold guys are gone, he's now lost his spell resistance. I'm gonna have to stop messing around here. We've got our earth elemental, which again, most of these people, it's the Elstaba, sorry. This is the one that gets rid of that stone skin. And then finally, the fire gives him his regeneration. And so ultimately, you can choose which ones you kill. A lot of parties tend to just kill the earth elemental. After you kill the earth elemental,
Charging battery.
after you kill that earth elemental, he is fairly easy to kill, and he drops fairly quickly, so it's not usually too big of a deal. He actually can be killed, and I've done it a few times without going into any of these rooms. It's just super, super hard to bypass all that damage resistance, and to deal with his like health regeneration. So from here, at the very, very back of the room, he does have a chest. Now this chest can have a named item in it. Again, not super amazing. So I wouldn't recommend, re-rolling that chest. It's kind of a, if you get it, awesome. If not, well, you didn't really miss out too much. From this point, there are two ways to proceed. You can either use Dimension Door to head back to the beginning of the quest, and then head in to where we talk to the Gate Warden, which should be about here. Actually, it should be about here. And head down that left path. Or, if you're like myself and don't have access to Dimension Door, we want to just head back there and run. Unfortunately, can't use the horse, as it is a quest, despite it being like a wilderness style quest. So just bear with me as we run back. So rather than head all the way up that ramp there, which is where all those crates were, if we head just a little bit up, we can make an immediate right. And it doesn't obviously save you a whole lot of time, but it saves you a little bit of time rather than running up and around. Then we can just hop down here. Another way to save a little bit of time on your run back is that crack in the wall right here. So again, rather than running all the way back here and around, we can diagonally cut straight across. To again save a little bit of time and get to our bridge. Now this one here, we do just need to head up to the left here. We could also equally just hop down there and run up, but Again, save a little bit of time, we'll go this way. Alright, so at this point, now we're going to want to make a right, heading west, and cross the bridge here. Now this is their outpost. Now at the top we do have two people to talk to. So we have Corporal Delvaskin, and then we have the commander. So if we talk to the corporal first here, we can actually turn in these supplies. Unfortunately, as you see, it only turned in one, so you will have to talk to him one time for every supply crate that you have on you. It is really actually quite annoying. Honestly, I wish they had like a command where you just like, you've got 5 here, take all 5.
Corporal Delvaskin.
And again, another little bit for returning them. So you already had to pick them up for that, bit. Now you get a bit for turning them in. Now, as you see, we're not quite at conquest just yet, but lucky for us, there's another optional right here. So if you talk to the sergeant and ask what the gate is for down the ramp, and then state why not seal it forever, it'll actually spawn a little mini fight down here. Now the enemies will spawn in waves of 3 and just spawn in a few waves. Now there is another little sneaky little spot that I and many range type characters like to enjoy. We'll just take these guys out here first before I move. And that's actually that tiny little lip right there. The lip is actually there, and there enough.
The last of the raiders falls, and the din of fighting fades from the outpost.
So the lip is actually there enough that you can actually run across it a decent ways. As you see, not all the way, but it really makes it nice because the enemies do not know. So if you run to about here, the enemies don't know how to path to you and tend to try and melee you from the wall down here or cast those range spells if they have. But it gives you a nice vantage point up here as well to be able to easily range them. Once you've done all that, as you notice, we're now at Conquest. All that's left to do is talk to Commander Egmar, and complete the quest. So it takes a little bit of time, as you see, 37 minutes. It's a little bit quicker if you can split the party up, but ultimately there's only so much you can do. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one all.